Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Ann Reardon and today we're making a slug cake from Best Fiends. That's right, there have been so many requests for Best Fiends from you guys, and Best Fiends offered to sponsor the video, so here we are. The first thing you need to do is make 1.5 times of my chocolate cake recipe, and there's a video showing how to make that cake and all the recipe quantities on the howtocookthat.net website, and I'll put a link to that below for you. So once you have made the batter, you want to pour that into 2 trays and then bake it in the oven for about 15 minutes or until a knife inserted into the center comes out clean. Then you want to leave those to cool completely before going on to the next step. Now while that's cooling, for those of you who don't know what Best Fiends is, hi mum, it's an app, it's free, you can get it on the App Store, I'll put a link below, and if you download it you'll get $4.99 worth of bonus gold and diamonds that'll help you in the game. It's basically a puzzle adventure game where you join the objects of the same colour together to try and defeat the slugs, which are the enemies or the fiends up the top. As you progress, you can collect different characters, and then you can upgrade those characters to make them more powerful, so it makes it easier to defeat the slugs. Well, technically, the higher the level you get to, the harder it is. I'm on level 127. Let me know in the comments below what level you're up to. You can also connect the app to Facebook, and there is a leaderboard there where you can compete against your friends and see what level they are up to. And up until February 26th this month, there's also a special Valentine's Heart Challenge where you can compete to get extra rewards and rare things that you can't normally get. And there's also going to be a special gift for you on Valentine's Day. Now that our cakes are cooled, what we want to do is place the template over the top, and the template is also available on the howtocookthat.net website, and then just cut around each of those so that we get the different shapes we need for each layer. For the frosting, we're going to use buttercream made with butter and icing sugar, and then we're going to add some cream to some white chocolate just to make a simple ganache to make the frosting even more creamy and yummy. Pop that in the microwave, stirring every 30 seconds until the chocolate is melted. Stir that through, and once it's all combined, we're going to set it aside to chill in the fridge. And I'm not going to use this for between the layers, I'm just going to use it on the outside. Place your butter and icing sugar into a bowl and mix it until you have a lovely, smooth, fluffy looking frosting. Spread a small amount of your frosting onto the cake board, and you'll notice I've put a support rod to one side, not in the center. And that's because if you look at the template, we want to have the support in the body and then room for the tail on one side. Add that first layer of cake into place and spread it with jam. I'm using strawberry jam, you could use apricot if you prefer, and then smother that in the buttercream. Add layer 2, and with each layer check where it should sit using the template, because the cake swerves in some of the pieces to sit more on one side than the other. Add layers 3, 4 and 5, and then after that the cake starts to lean forward again, so this part is going to need some support. Add 3 supports down into the cake at the level that the top of the cake is up to, and then add a small round cake board on top. The sticks just stop it from squashing the cake below. Stack up the next 2 layers of cake and then double check with the cake ruler I've given you that you're at the right height. Then add the final 2 layers into place. Place the template on one side and cut out the shape of your slug. Do the same at the front using the front template so that you get the shape of the slug. Now collect up all those offcuts and mash them up using a fork until you get a paste-like consistency, and then use that mixture to build up under the cake board there to make where the slug slopes out for his top lip. And add anywhere else on the slug that needs building up if you've cut a bit too much off, and we also want to add a couple of lines across the back of the tail. Don't make the tip of his tail though, we'll make that later out of fondant. Then mix the ganache into the rest of the buttercream and use that to cover the whole of the outside of the cake. Grab some acetate and use it to smooth up and around the frosting. Now take a bit of time here to get it perfectly smooth because it doesn't change once you put the fondant on. You need your buttercream base to be just how you want it to look. Then pop that in the fridge to firm up. Take some more of this cake mixture and roll it into a ball, and then cut it in half to get 2 even pieces. Then roll each of those to make the 2 eyeballs. Take a cake spike and dip it into chocolate and poke it into one side of the ball, and this just glues it to the stick so it doesn't fall off in our next step. Once that's set, dip the whole thing into white chocolate and then lift it up and tap the stick on your finger or the edge of the bowl to let any excess chocolate drip off, so you end up with 2 nice smooth eyeballs. Once that chocolate is set, wrap some black fondant around the bottom half and a bit around the stick, and then add another piece over the top, leaving a gap so it looks a bit like a ninja. Roll a thin piece of black and using a straw cut out 2 circles for the pupils and then add them into place in the center of each eye. Cut another ball of black in half and then flatten and shape it to make 2 rectangles with rounded corners. Then take a knife and make 2 indents across the top of each one. Stand your eyeballs up in the top of a roll of paper towel and then add the eyebrows on top, curving slightly upwards on the edges. Now roll 2 tiny little balls of white and add them onto each pupil in the top corner. Take some more white fondant and cut around each of the teeth templates so that you have those, and then take the template off and just use your finger to smooth around the front edges so that it looks nice and tooth-shaped, and then leave those to one side. Now take your cake out of the fridge and cover the whole thing in black fondant. Now the tricky thing with covering tall cakes like this is the weight of the fondant can pull it down and make it tear up the top. So you need to work fairly quickly to attach it to the cake so that it's not still pulling. I also like to spray it with a little vegetable oil to keep it moist, and then just keep lifting and lowering the fondant and smoothing it over the shape of the cake, lifting and lowering it and smoothing out the folds without creasing it. Trim the excess off around the base, leaving a little bit extra, then trim it in a little bit closer with a knife and tuck it in at the base. Use your template to cut the strip of deep red and place that just under the top lip for his gums. Then make an indent there in the gum where his teeth will sit and add each tooth into place, pushing it up into the gum. Next, add some brown fondant onto the cake board to cover it. Then add some lighter colour strips so it looks like the rings on the top of a tree stump, which some of the earlier levels the slugs are sitting on a tree stump, so we'll make it look a bit like that. Cut some long strips of green fondant that are pointy at both ends and cross them over each other. Once you have 3 crossed over, pick it up in the middle and squeeze it to make the stem of the grass. Then pop that into place on the board and support it using some tissue or baking paper and leave it to firm up. Now we need to make the tip of the tail. For that, roll a large teardrop shape and make it bend over to one side a little bit and then tuck it under at the back of your slug. Add the eyeballs into place, leaning forward slightly. That's 1 and that's 2. And you have a Best Fiends slug cake, which despite looking like it belongs in the garden, actually it tastes awesome when it's on your plate. Let me know what other apps you'd like to see as cakes. Solve this puzzle to figure out the coded web address. There are prizes for the first ones there. And don't forget to download the Best Fiends game. There's a link below, and play on Valentine's Day if you already have it. Subscribe to How to Cook That for more crazy sweet creations. Click here for the latest video, here for the recipe, and here for more cakes. Make it a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.